The Honourable Emma Hurst is a member of the Australian state of New South Wales Legislative Council, where she uses this platform to tirelessly campaign for animal protection reform and animal rights. Since her election to the New South Wales Parliament and as a member of the Australian Animal Justice Party, Emma has worked in various animal advocacy roles that have included campaigning, political lobbying, and media outreach. Ms. Hurst is also a long-time vegan, plant-based bodybuilder, and a registered psychologist. We were intrigued to learn more about the compassionate Australian politician, Emma Hurst, whose quest for equality amongst all beings began at a young age.
So I was just a young kid, and I was actually hugging a chicken that someone had put in my lap, and I was just patting this chicken. And I suddenly realised that this chicken was purring. And I had rescue cats at home who also purred when I hugged them. And it occurred to me as a really young child that this chicken shows joy in the same way as my cat shows joy at home. As a young girl, I can't remember how old I was, 8, 9, that I sort of realised if I can't eat my cat, I can't eat this chicken. And so I started writing my parents' notes telling them that I was going to go vegetarian, which they were quite supportive of.
As she became older, Emma then learned more about the animal livestock raising industry. This included becoming aware of the suffering that all animals face when raised for food.
It was actually quite a few years later that just a simple flyer that was handed to me on the street opened my eyes to the fact that I was actually quite naive as a vegetarian. I didn't want to kill animals, but I was oblivious to what was actually happening in these industries behind closed doors. And, I had no idea that, even eating organic or free-range eggs meant that all day-old male chicks in the egg industry would be macerated, and that in the dairy industry that calves would be torn away from their mothers and taken to slaughterhouses. And when I read all this information, it was just like the lights switched on, and I just went vegan overnight, and that was in the year 2000, so nearly 20 years ago.
Armed with this vital knowledge, Emma Hurst's drive and enthusiasm compelled her to try to create numerous changes in the lives of as many animals as possible, including those suffering in the animal livestock raising industry. She worked as a campaign director for Animal Liberation, an animal rights organization that works to end the suffering of confined and exploited animals. During her work, her insights as a registered psychologist convinced her that we need to change people's behavior in order to reap positive change for humans as well as the animals.
I worked for Animal Liberation for over a decade. I've also worked for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. But my background is actually in psychology, so I'm a registered psychologist. I decided when I was at university that I wanted to dedicate my life basically to helping animals and to liberating them. And I decided that it was really people that needed to change, not animals. Everyone kept telling me to go and do veterinary science or animal behaviour studies, and I said, well, no, I actually need to study people.
Ms. Hurst gave us a very concrete example of an area where animals suffer at the hands of humans.
there's a huge amount of research that shows the link between, violence towards humans and violence towards animals. And people who are violent towards animals are very likely to also be violent towards a human being as well. And one area now that I'm in Parliament that we plan to work on is in this link of domestic violence and animal abuse. So we're meeting with the police and we're trying to sort out what those legislative gaps are in this area, so we can start to make improvements to ensure that animals are protected and so that people who are in violent situations can flee and can also protect their animals that they live with.
Thanks to Ms. Hurst for her efforts to raise humanity's awareness to the importance of loving behavior that will help protect our treasured animal companions and also build a peaceful, loving world. We are going to pause now for some uplifting messages. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. According to the white paper by Dr. Sailesh Rao, we learned that animal livestock raising is the leading cause of climate change, responsible for 87% of human-made greenhouse gases and aerosol emissions, and not just current CO2 emissions alone. The devastating recent bushfires, end of 2019, and the early 2020 that burned across more than 17 million acres of Australia were the result of global warming, which can push forest ecosystems past the point of no return. Therefore, the most effective way to reduce global warming is to live a compassionate, plant-based lifestyle, which not only protects animals from cruelty and suffering, but also maintains the health of our planet Earth as well as human beings.
To learn more about animal agriculture is the leading cause of climate change white paper, please visit climatehealers.org/animal-agriculture-white-paper.
During the climate change conference in Togo, West Africa in 2009, Supreme Master Ching Hai clearly pointed out the solution to how our planet can be saved in just a few weeks.
If we eliminate meat from our diet, global warming is reduced very quickly by a tremendous amount, if not the most of it. If everyone becomes vegan, stops raising more animals for food, and instead growing organic vegetables, our earth and the environment can be saved, and as quick as we could not even imagine, in a few weeks.
In advocating for the animals' well-being, Emma uses her sincere and firm voice in Parliament to stand up for the animals. Her decision to run for election was a pivotal one after many years of working for justice for the animals.
I'd been working in the animal protection movement for some time, and I was working for an organisation called Animal Liberation. And my colleague there, Mark Pearson, who is our other MP within the Animal Justice Party, he was involved in forming the political party because we could see that, politicians weren't listening, government weren't listening, our laws were drastically falling behind everywhere else in the world, but also massively falling behind community standards and what the community wants to see in regards to animal protection. So he ran when the party first formed and he was elected. And then he actually approached me and said, look, would you consider running? Because we'd worked for years together and we knew we worked well together and we had, similar ideals and values. And so I sort of had to really think about, where am I best placed to protect animals? And I can see that There's some wonderful organisations out there doing great work with corporations and making sure that, corporations are including animal ethics within their policies. I can see that consumers are already really starting to change their behaviours, particularly here in Australia. We've got a massive vegan growing market. People are becoming more aware of the cruelty that's hidden in these industries, but the government's falling behind. And so I decided, yes, I would run and see what happens.
It is becoming increasingly clear that animal liberation requires a multi-pronged approach, and that politics is a necessary and effective platform for such work.
So the way I see politics is a strategic way. It's just another way, it's another clog in the whole wheel. We need the education, we need the on-the-ground work, but we also need that driving through political change, policy change, government change, and at the same time corporate change.
As the second member of the Animal Justice Party to be elected to the New South Wales Parliament in Australia, Ms. Hurst shared with us some information about the dynamic young political party.
The Animal Justice Party was formed in 2009. We saw the success of the Party for Animals in the Netherlands, which is a party that's just going from strength to strength. We're a political party that's entirely focused on improving animal legislation and animal protection and environment. So we run by the principles of kindness, equality, rationality and non-violence. So that goes to everything that we stand for when we're talking about, human rights issues, environmental issues, and our focus is on, where animals fall and play into that as well.
Dear Emma Hurst, your dedicated, compassionate determination to help animals via the political platform is brilliant. We are so delighted that the animals have such a committed voice in the New South Wales Parliament to campaign on their behalf.
Supreme Master Ching Hai joyfully present the Honorable Emma Hurst the Shining World Leadership Award for Compassion. With all love, a big hug and best wishes. In heaven's grace, may you and all your supporters forever be in God's favor.
Supreme Master Ching Hai is deeply grateful to the beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy and/or any good cause over the years, as a humble vessel for Hare's compassion and love towards Hare's precious children.
To learn more about Emma Hurst, please visit emmahurstmp.com. To learn more about Animal Justice Party, please visit animaljusticeparty.org.